Very good afternoon to all of you, and it's a very great privilege and honor to be part of Prayana. Especially, I wasn't very much aware of the entire mission vision, but after hearing to Dr. Chandra and after watching the videos, I'm truly delighted and excited to be part of this community and looking forward, we will collaborate more because our vision mission seems to be, converging a lot. So very, very excited to be here. Over the next few minutes, what I wanted to share was, how corporates and why corporates are actually focusing so much on diversity, and also share some of my personal journey on what has kept me survived or kept me so resilient in the entire career journey. So the fact that all the major organizations, if you see across the globe, there is a sudden increase, or there is a very strong focus on diversity and inclusion, and it is a testament of the fact that the benefits are numerous and proven. Let me just start with some of the statistics which was showed over the video that we had projected a while ago. We have close to 500 million female population. However, you may be surprised to hear that only women of India that contribute to the national GDP is only 17%, as compared to the global average of 40% across the board. And according to a McKinsey report, like if you just increase the gender parity by 10 points, there is a chances that you can increase India's GDP by 770 billion by 2025. That is, India, if it were to rebalance its workforce, the world's biggest democracy would be richer by 27%. Isn't this mind-blowing? Don't we have a $1 trillion opportunity right in front of us to tap into? A few more eye-opening facts, which were again projected, but I wanted to emphasize. According to the Global Gender Gap Report, India ranks 112 in the 153 countries that are ranked. And it is so low, the cadre, and it has been declining over the past few years. All these statistics actually point to a mindset, or the mindset that needs to change among the women, that either they are not very much inclined to join the workforce, or most importantly, they are not able to sustain or stay in the workforce. Despite the growing numbers of STEM graduates, when I tell STEM, it is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We have been focusing over the last decade a lot of emphasis on STEM graduates. Studies are showing that we have not been very successful in moving the needle and the representation of women in the workforce. So diversity and inclusion, if you see, in most of the corporates have become the core ethos. And why? Because we have started witnessing the increased innovation, creativity, improved employee engagement, strengthened decision-making, as some of the innumerous benefits of fostering diversity in the workplace. I feel extremely proud and privileged again to be part of PayPal, where diversity and inclusion is the fulcrum of our core values. Most hearteningly, in PayPal India, we are close to, I would say, 4,000 plus employees, and we are at a 32% gender diversity, which has increased over 19% over the last year. With the company's vision to democratize financial services, we have a plethora of diversity and inclusion initiatives at workplace. Specific to address gender diversity, we have Unity, which I'm heading for the India Chennai chapter, which is our employee resource group that strives relentlessly to empower women thrive at PayPal. We have various programs under this flagship, right from mentoring to sponsorship and to having opportunities that allow you to shadow the highest level of executive leaders, be it the senior vice president or of any cadre. You are given an opportunity to shadow them, and that which provides you indispensable learning experience to grow as a well-rounded leader. We then have programs very similar to Come Back to Career that was talked about by Dr. Chandra and all, like we call it the Recharge, that provides opportunity of internship and employment with PayPal for women who had taken a break for a number of reasons in their career. We also have several initiatives to promote the niche career tracks like women in data science, women in product, and also in the emerging technologies like machine learning, artificial intelligence space. These initiatives provide you an hands-on opportunity to code, design, lead projects outside your assigned responsibilities. And with all these stellar efforts that PayPal is endeavoring, I'm very proud to say that, we've been listed among the top 50 best workplace to work in India for the 12th consecutive year and have won several accolades by Avatar, the best mom, best workplace for women, etc. As I reflect on my own personal, story and career journey, I wanted to emphasize and share, especially on three key principles, or I would say they are my life skills that have gotten me where I am today. The first one being, embracing changes in life with a very positive outlook, no matter how difficult or how unrealistic they may be. The second being don't quit or a never give up attitude. In terms of, even the word don't quit, if you look at it properly, it has do it. So look at it as everything can be done. And the third, never stop or, constantly invest in upskilling self or strive for continuous improvement in whatever you do. Let me take a couple of minutes and walk you through a very quick glimpse of my journey and to help explain how these skills were paramount to my survival. I was born and brought up in a middle class, conventional family in the city of Jamshedpur, known as Steel City in Jharkhand, then Bihar. Back in the late 90s, when I had actually finished my schooling, completed schooling, we had very, very limited options of pursuing engineering. It was only at that time IITs, the prestigious IITs or the NITs. We didn't have the options of any private colleges. And apparently, I couldn't make through either IIT or NIT. But the desire of pursuing a professional degree or an engineering degree was very strong because of the fact that at that time, we always looked at engineering or medical as the only professions that could guarantee us a white collar jobs, right? It was very prominent at that time. So this feeling or desire of doing engineering over other sciences was quite strong. Hence, I made every attempt to find out like what other option I had in hand. Finally, I found out that there was something, I took this Tamil Nadu entrance and there was something called the other state quota in which I got an admission in the Salem Sona College of Engineering. And I became the first female in my house to step out and pursue this career. It was not all over. Like when I thought that I had made that first successful step, I soon realized, and that was the first time when I stepped down to South, I tasted what it meant not to be inclusive. Like all the challenges of diversity, inclusion that we speak, all the regional diversity, I was experiencing it firsthand. Salem not being a very cosmopolitan kind of a place, the majority of it were local, and not knowing the local dialect, that is, I didn't know Tamil at that time, it wasn't a very welcoming experience for me. So because I was not one among them. But I didn't succumb to the situation. Rather, I took it as a determination because I knew that these 4 years were going to be my most memorable experience of my life. I set myself a goal of learning Tamil within a quarter. And believe me, I made every attempt, irrespective of how ridiculed I was in front of my friends when I was speaking. But not only did I make thick friends in college, but I also elevated myself to become the Women's Wing Secretary for several years and established myself as a leader way back in college. I then started my professional journey. I graduated in 2001, the year which was just absorbing the effects of Y2K and very prominently known as the recession year. Getting a job, especially when you are not part of the tier 1 colleges, I would say, wasn't easy. But then I did every attempt and strive very hard to get placed through off campus in one of the most renowned companies called Alcatel-Lucent. That at that time it was the biggest player in telecommunication space. I was super thrilled because I was the only student from the college to get selected and join my first job within the first week of completing my final semester. So I would say I was fortunate, but at the same time, I did work very hard for that. After being 2 years with Alcatel, I then joined Huawei, the Chinese multinational and the world leader in telecommunications, in 2003 and moved to Bangalore. It was a paradigm shift. I may not be able to explain, but it was a paradigm shift in terms of work culture from working in a European-based company to a Chinese multinational. But I did take this change in a very positive outlook. Did very hard work, and which I would say was the foundational building block for my career. I had a long stint in Huawei. I grew from a software engineer to a senior project manager within a decade, which was stellar. Life was like a roller coaster, which was going in full speed in all dimensions. Like I moved way back in 2003 to Bangalore. I got married the same year. And before I realized I was a mom in 2004, very next year, I worked just, till the last day. I still remember I worked till the last day of my maternity. Like the next day I delivered a child. I was working till my last day. And those days, the maternity leave was only like 3 months. As I reached 2 or 2.5 months, I got a call from my manager saying that there's a very critical project and it would be good if I could join back. At that time, it was very difficult. It was just a 2 months old baby, and I didn't know what. But again, I was very strong, and in my mind, career was something which I could never compromise upon as well. So it was difficult, but then I sought help from my parents, my in-laws. I shifted my home close to my office such that I can, come back a couple of times or even during the lunch to feed my daughter. And I joined back to the organization within 3 months. When I thought that, okay, I have overcome this kind of challenge, now everything is a smooth sailor, something very, very big was awaiting me as a surprise. When my little one was only 6 months, I was faced with a lifetime situation where I had to take one of the toughest decisions, I would say, in my life. So the work which I was doing, it was essentially a platform where where the decision had been made that we had to give back this platform to our headquarters, which was in China, and then take some new work from China and come back to India, which essentially meant that all the team members had to travel to China to do this knowledge transition and then come back with a new piece of work. There were only two options in front of me. One, my little one, I take care, I quit my job and then try to search something else. Or else take up this challenge, travel and see on how you can handle family. I took a very bold decision. I opted for the latter one. It wasn't very easy because it's a very difficult experience, very easier said than done. I had to miss my little one's first birthday, her crawl to baby steps, because on those days, at least 10, 15 years back, the video calling, laptops, WhatsApp, technology had not advanced that much. And staying away from family, and that too a toddler or an infant, was an experience, or I would say an hardship. But after that hardship or an experience that I became, it made me so strong that every other challenge that worked seemed very, very trivial. I grew steadily in my career, jumping my ladder every 1.5 or 2 years and winning several awards, Best Tech Lead, Best Manager, Best Women Employee for several years, till I found myself as a Senior Project Manager in 2015. And then I saw that I was hitting the ceiling once again. I realized that for becoming for moving up the ladder, it wasn't a single step, but it was a huge jump that was required. And for becoming my next level, which was a director position, it was nowhere near the horizon because I had 6 male colleagues competing with me. I was the only woman, and they were competing with me, and they were in front of my in the queue. So I decided to look for a career change. And again, made a very bold decision of doing a career transition from all the while, like the first 12, 13 or 14 years being in the telecommunication space to kind of embracing or joining an IT or a fintech company. Since the domain was very new, I had to make a very big shift in my role. That is, I used to handle, when I left Huawei, I used to handle large teams of greater than 50 people or something. And when I took over this new position in Yodlee, I had to become an individual contributor. From being a top-notch leader to being an individual contributor wasn't easy at all. I joined Yodlee as a senior program manager, and then I challenged myself. I was not a person to give up, and then try to excel even in this role. And based on my performance, within few months, I was offered to head the command center or the production operations function in Yodlee. All throughout, being very, very closely knit to the engineering side of the entire software development lifecycle. The operations side was extremely new, but I was confident that I can take up this role and not only do justice, but also excel. So I did embrace this change once more. And as a director of command center, brought in several transformations, created site reliability, service operations functions. And then I thought that my career had settled down, like I was fully settled in Bangalore. My daughter had grown into a teenager. We had our own house and nothing to complain than being an ideal world, right? At this juncture, PayPal opportunity came my way. This was late 2017 or beginning 2018 when I was thrilled, in fact, because this was the emerging technology space, the big data and the data space, which was very, very, I was extremely curious again and, to take up this opportunity, especially when I got the offer after 13 or 14 rounds of interview. However, this transition again to PayPal wasn't very straightforward. This opportunity was in Chennai. I was in Bangalore for the last 15, 16 years. And what it meant to embrace this opportunity was that I had to shift my entire family I had to relocate my entire family to a different city. What that means, you would have seen that usually, women follow the men, or, there is a transfer that the husband takes, the wife follows. But in my case, it was different. I was very determined that this is something which I would want to embrace. And hence, I made every attempt, not only in convincing my husband, who was so supportive, and then relocated my entire family. And as I reflect back over the last 2.5 years, it's been extremely gratifying of all the changes and all the experiences that have happened to me in the last couple of years in PayPal. So in the hindsight, if you realize, I feel that I have overcome several usual stigmas or barriers, and was very resilient to pursue my professional career, unlike the case where usually we have seen in corporates, a significant portion of the female employees end up terminating their careers. Also, transitioning between multiple functions within the IT required very strong determination and a can-do attitude, which kept me excelling in every role I took. Not only, was I versatile to embrace the changes gracefully, but in many occasions, I found myself rising above to become a change agent, a catalyst, and driving and thereby leading transformations as a champion. What I learned in handling a change was, if you handle a change positively, it has compounding or a multiplier effect and can lead to significant transformations. However, if you end up resisting a change, it can be detrimental and can result in bigger pitfalls. Hence, always looking at change as a blessing in disguise has now helped me handling it and also made it a lifestyle habit for me. Last, I would like to emphasize, where I am today, I wouldn't be successful if I weren't investing in upskilling and driving for continuous improvement at every step and every day of my life. With this rapidly changing and ever evolving technology landscape, who would have thought that this pandemic, when it hits, everything would become remote, like all this, virtual conferences, hosting everything remotely has broken a lot of myths, right? So we need to continuously learn and upskill ourselves. This is no longer a choice, but has become paramount importance just to keep ourselves relevant. I would say just to survive. It is very, very important that we invest in continuous upskilling ourselves. Now, as the example which Dr. Chandra said, I strongly urge and feel that it is the right time for all of us to break those cocoons, and every one of us rise, and every female student or professional who should want to come back to the career should pledge that we will not succumb, or we will strongly overcome all the barriers, all the challenges, and the stigma associated with women only being the primary caregivers, and evolve in taking an equal responsibility and position in driving economic progression. With that, thank you so much for the patient listening of my journey and sharing some of my experiences in this forum.